we're back, guys, for another video. Thank you guys for joining. Yes, honey, we are back. We are back. We are back. What's up? Okay, let's get that in. All right. Okay, so we're back. We're back. We're back. Let's get on into our show, honey. Let me get my banner up. Ooh, child. Y'all been running today. Listen. I did not get to connect with you guys yesterday, so I had to make sure I did it today. Because, baby, listen, y'all already know. Hey. Baby, listen, we are out here, okay? We are at this pizza. We at this pizza. What's up? Okay, so y'all, I've been ripping and running. I had to take my son today so my mom could get him for spring break. Y'all already know that, okay? Actually, guys, I'm in Atlanta, okay? I don't usually tell y'all where I'm at. But yeah, so okay. So let me go ahead and explain to you guys. Because everybody's like, okay, Carmel, how you just didn't go live for us yesterday and then you took your ass down there for the mimosas with Melody. All right, so let me go ahead and explain to y'all. Because y'all been tearing my ass up in the comments. Okay. Carmel did not go to Atlanta for the mimosas with Melody. Carmel was already in Atlanta, okay? My girl T-Talk hit me up and was like, Carmel, like, look, real, we're gonna be down here at such and such. Come down here and hang out with us, like pop up on us, because the subscribers and content creators, they're down here and they're gonna want to see your ass. They're gonna want to see you, girl. So I said, okay, I'm gonna pop up, you know. I'm gonna pull up, and that's what we did. I had a ball, y'all. So I said, look, drop the Addy and I will pop up. So she dropped the Addy. I called her when I got 5 minutes up the street. I was like, okay, I'm here now. Y'all save me a seat. I'm coming. Nobody knew I was coming, okay? So it was like a huge surprise. I walked in the room and I was like, Gabrielle, what are you doing here? I was like, Gabrielle, what's up? So I got a chance to meet some subscribers. I hung out with T-Talk. I hung out with Sassy T. You guys saw the pictures. It was so many people. And I had to be like, okay, who are you? Because, you know, when we're online, like, I just see names. So I put in names to faces. It was really nice. So we had fun. We had drinks. Everybody was eating. We cracked jokes. We laughed. We had a great time. So it was great hanging out with some Millimeters Child. It was great hanging out with Sassy and T-Talk with your girl and so many other content creators and everybody else that was there. We were trying to see if we could catch up with Trending in them, but they went like to a whole nother different direction. I think they went somewhere else to go get something to eat or whatever. So everybody was kind of all over the place. But it was still a nice turnout. So I was happy to get to do that. Yeah. And then I had to hurry up and bring my ass back home so I could pop right back up early this morning and take my son so he can have his time for spring break for next week, guys. So, and I literally just got home not even an hour ago. So I've been cramming so that I could get back and connect with you guys today as well. And then I'm about to go right back out again tonight. So, bitch, I'm tired. But we're going to try to take a B12 and we just going to do what we got to do. Yes, and thanks, Tiffany Hall says you ladies look beautiful. Thank you. We had a good time, y'all. So they are now at the Mimosas with Melody. You guys probably saw Trending go live a few times where she was kind of showing all the content creators that were there. I think Trending and Queen Sheba. I think Here for Hot Tea was with them too. They were all hanging out last night too. So everybody was just kind of like hanging out. So yeah, I've been outside. Y'all, I'm tired as hell. I can't even tell you. I went to bed late as hell, got up early as hell, and about to go back out again tonight. So damn. But I said I'm gonna go live, and then we're gonna do what we got to do. Okay. So my son is gone, child. He's with my mom. Gonna be gone for a whole week. I already missed my baby. I already done called him, and I literally dropped his ass off a few hours ago. So yes, child. Y'all know how it is when you got babies. But let's get on into the show, okay? Let's get on into the show. They were like, Kimmy, how the hell you get all the way back from Atlanta that quick? I'm in Atlanta, y'all, okay? We are in the A. I'm in the A, okay? Yes, I'm in the A. And y'all know we telling mom we dropping my Addy like that. I don't be dropping the Addy, the location. Because bitches be trying to pull up on you, but not that we worried about it. But y'all know I'm private like that. But yeah, I was already here. So I knew my girls was going to be here. And I had been talking to T-Talk. So I knew at one point in time I was going to link up. And yesterday I just moved some things around because I had a full day yesterday, y'all. I had a full day. So when she hit me and she was like, Carmel, come through, try to come through. Because they would be glad to get to see you. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this shit happen. So I moved some stuff around. I did what I needed to do, and I ran my ass back to the house here, showered, got dressed, honey, and took my ass on down there, and I had a ball. So shout out to the girls down there, for everybody that showed up down and showed out. I can't stop crying because all the support you guys have for me. Yes, child, we do, honey. So Mel got a lot of support. She do. I was looking at a few people that went live, baby. It's a lot of people at the Mimosas for Melody. So she got a lot of people that support. Miss Van is there. Jay is there. Of course, I know Training is there. Here for Hot Tea is there. Queen Sheba is there. Who else did I see was there on some of the lives? God, there's so many people. But let's get on into the show, guys. Y'all know they're going to post pictures and videos. Sassy T is there. Journey to Jasmine, I think they said was there. A lot of people, y'all. Golly, I can't name everybody. So if I left somebody's name out, don't be mad, child, because I can't remember everybody. I'm tired as hell. All right, so it says yes, says the event did look fun. Yes. Yes, honey. Yeah, so you love my Louis Vuitton bag. I tell you, I don't play when I step out, baby. It's up. Okay, I don't play. I had on my painted on pants, my painted on leather pants, baby. Yes, God, honey. Yes, God, I don't play. And I don't go nowhere without my Louis bag. And y'all saw I kept it close just in case somebody want to act up, because y'all don't care me. I got a little hood and her. Okay, we don't go nowhere without a thing. But yeah, y'all, I don't play like that. Because I told Tita, I said, okay, who is there? Because bitch don't be having me coming in here. Nah, I don't want to be coming in here. I ain't trying to go to jail tonight. Nah, I don't mind hanging out with the peoples. But sometimes people be acting crazy. So yeah, we had a Louis bag. It's real. I mean, do we need to show authentication? We can. But unlike somebody else's Louis bag, piranha teeth. Okay, she tried it. You tried it. I need to see inside the bag. I need to see, y'all know. If you got real Louis bags, y'all know what that shit be like. All right, let's get on with this show now. Let's get on with that show. All right, so everything said in the video is alleged and in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Okay, yes. All right, so let's get into the show, baby. All right, so as y'all know, this is going to be part 2 tonight. We're going to try to finish up this damn deposition. We got all the way up to 46 pages. Okay, there is more. We're going to get through that. Y'all know I always like to throw in some other topics as well, so we're going to get through those and let's hop right on into this damn deposition. Okay, because God knows it's going. Ooh, what time is it? 7:17. All right, yeah. Okay. Oh, Jesus, Lord. All right. So Al B. Sure, guys. Y'all know who Al B. Sure is, okay? Al B. Sure, honey, announces that he will be producing, you guys, his story, his life story. Now, y'all know he tried to do a tell-all book some years ago when he actually went into this coma mysteriously. So he is kind of speaking out, and he's kind of alluding to the fact that maybe Diddy might have had something to do with him going into this damn coma. Now, we've always speculated that Diddy had something to do with that, because Diddy don't like him because of the whole, Kim Porter situation. All right, so Diddy stole Kim Porter from Al B. Sure. That's the, Forever My Lady. He wrote that song about Kim Porter. So for her to be with Diddy and to be mistreated, and now she's not here anymore, he's been screaming from the mountaintops that he did not believe that she died of lobar pneumonia. I don't believe that she died of that. But hey, hopefully they reopen the case and hopefully they find out what was really going on. But Al B. Sure is speaking out again, and I pray for safety for him, that nothing else happens to him. He is up and he's alive and he's well, child. But he says, hey, I'm gonna try to put out this damn documentary on my life. And he says that we might have to call Homeland Security. So that was a dig at Diddy, because who was just at Diddy's house? Homeland Security. All right, so don't let me tell you, child. Let's get on over here so he can tell you himself. All right, shout out to the neighborhood talk. All right, so let me go back and forth so we can get it all to it. All right. Okay. And boom. And boom. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me share with you guys. Y'all see how tired I am? All right, let's share. I'm sitting here. I ain't even damn shared the screen. Wake up, Caramel. Okay. Jesus. All right. So can you guys see? My screen? All right, let me go. Let's do a dual screen here so I can see you guys as you guys are watching me. Okay. Let's do that. Turn you down. Okay, hold up. No. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got a million things going on over here at one time. Okay, boom. All right. So can you guys see me? Can y'all see the screen? All right, everybody put a 1 if you can see my screen. I'm going to go ahead now and share it. Can you guys see? Everybody see? So you look so nice. You look so nice. I was looking for you on YouTube. I know, guys. I had to go hang out with the crew. All right, so here we go. So it says, Albie Sure seemingly hints that Diddy may have had something to do with him being in a coma, y'all. Y'all know he was in a coma for a hot little minute. Says that you're really going to have to call Homeland Security. So this is him speaking now.
The Albie Sure life story. So hold on to your britches. You'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
Look at that. Let's see him there when he was in a coma. Shout out to TMZ. All right, I'm going to back it up because I want y'all to hear it again.
We're going to be producing the Albie Sure life story. So hold on to your britches. You'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
Quincy is wonderful. Albert is wonderful. Devin is wonderful. I'm a happy grandfather. I'm truly in an amazing place. It's unfortunate that social media got their panties in the uproar for telling my son that I love you. I send him a text like that every day. Mm-hmm. Just follow his new platform and you'll understand why.
We're going to be producing.
Okay. So he says, hey, that's something that he does all the time. Okay. He said, look, I always send my son messages. So let's go ahead and get into the message that he sent. Can you guys see this? Okay. Can y'all see? Can y'all see? Can y'all see my screen? Let's make sure. I want to make sure you guys can all see. So this is what Albie Sure says. Albie Sure issues a message to his son, Quincy, after the whole Diddy drama. He's telling his son to please come home. He says that you are safe here, okay? This is after Diddy's house got raided by Homeland Security and the feds, okay? As you guys can see, he says, come home. The door is wide open. You are safe here, son. I love you, Pops. You're biological, okay? Because he is his biological father. Look at him, look at him. See the two of them together? Spitting image, okay? All right. So he says, at transplants for all, okay? So he's telling him, look, Diddy ain't your damn daddy. Like Diddy always out here trying to claim somebody's kids. Y'all know he out here claiming Misa's other child, okay? Justin Combs. We already told y'all his daddy's name is Wolf. I done showed y'all the pictures and every damn thing. So Diddy, you are not the son of Quincy, and you are not the son of Justin Combs, okay? They got a daddy. You focus on your own damn kids, the ones that your ass ain't raising because you out here trafficking allegedly and doing some other shit that you shouldn't be doing, okay? Period. All right. Yeah. So that's what Albie Sure is saying. He is speaking up. He said, look, I send a text message to my son every damn day. It ain't just today. I don't just do that today. That's every day. So he does have a relationship with his son. Unfortunately, Diddy came in and put a wedge in between him and his father by way of Kim Porter, who is no longer here anymore, which I believe she probably would have still been alive had she stayed with Albie Sure because he loved her. But Diddy came in and did what Diddy always damn do. So, yes, child. Diddy is always claiming somebody's damn kids. It's giving pop quiz. Tell me where your damn cheering is, Diddy. Where your cheering at? And now you want to pop out with the twins the other day, like you trying to be on daddy duty. Well, you ain't thought about their ass. You done hopped the plane when the Homeland Security done kicked your damn door in and done left your damn kids. Yes, you did, Diddy. But let's get on, child. Let's get on with the show. All right. He stay trying to do some shit that he should not be doing. All right, so for those of you that have AT&T, let's go ahead and give you guys an update on that before we move on. Okay, let's go ahead and give you guys an update on that because there is a some type of data leak. So for those of you that have AT&T, let's go ahead and share that. So I want you guys to see what the hell is going on with that. For those of you that have AT&T, all right, says there's a major data leak alert. Over 72 million AT&T customers are affected. All right, so let's go ahead and see what it is saying about the AT&T data leak for those of you that haven't. Now, it says the AT&T, you guys, has confirmed a massive data leak, okay, affecting 7.6 million current customers and a staggering 65 million former customers. It says that the leaked information may include full names, email addresses, mailing addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers. Oh, hell no. All right, and it also says dates of birth, AT&T account numbers, and passcodes, potentially exposing them to risk. That's not good. Anytime Social Security number get leaked, baby, you can do a whole lot of shit with that. So the fact that it's a leak like that, they need to figure that out. And it sounds like their asses is going to be sued real soon, okay? He goes on to say that the company has reset the passcodes for the 7.6 million current customers affected by the breach and is in the process, honey, of reaching out to these individuals as well as the 65.4 million former account holders whose data was also compromised, okay? So for those of you that have AT&T, your information could be or may have been exposed to another party that should not have gotten it. Somebody said, I'm about sick of AT&T. First, we had a whole damn blackout from them where you couldn't damn call nobody, you couldn't do nothing. And now here they ass is again on some other bullshit. Like, dog, can y'all get y'all stuff together already? As much money as y'all damn charge folk a month, y'all need to get y'all shit together. Like, I'm so sick of y'all. And now y'all out here leaking people's social security numbers, full names, addresses, mailing addresses, and damn, some every damn thing. Anybody experienced anything? Anybody received any notice from AT&T? Because they got 65 million and 7.6 million current customers that they got to reach out to. That's a lot of damn people. Okay, that's a lot of damn people. But I hope they figure that shit out. All right, moving on, child. I'm glad I ain't got them. All right, moving on. So speaking of Diddy, child, guess who was hanging out, child, down there in Miami? Down there in Miami where the asses shouldn't been together. Stevie J, while you playing gospel music, you done got scared because Homeland Security done bust up in Diddy house. And now your name popping up in this deposition as we read in part 1 over here, where it says that your job, sir, was to be a recruiter. And you also participated in FOs, that is the freak-offs, okay, with Diddy. And you've been in the presence of underage girls, okay? Yes, in the trafficking, allegedly, you've been involved in some trafficking situations out here. Now look your ass out here hanging with Diddy. Let's go ahead and play this bullshiggity for you guys. Can y'all see? All right, play and play. We clicking. Look at Steve. Mm-hmm. What you doing hanging with Diddy? What you doing hanging all up under Diddy? Y'all know everybody hanging with Diddy. Y'all know you got to be doing what Diddy wants you to do. Diddy always pushing up on people. Stevie J, you be hanging real tough with Diddy now. You been hanging real tough with Diddy. They say I don't hear anything. Y'all said you don't hear anything. All right, hold on. Let's stop sharing and let's reshare. I don't know what the hell be happening when we share. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. We're gonna reshare it. Okay, I got you. All right, can y'all hear?
Movie. Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie. Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie.
Stevie J
down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie. Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie. Down here at
Look at Steve. Y'all see Stevie back there hiding behind Diddy. I already said now, two can't hang together unless they agree. Y'all doing the same bullshit out here. And when Diddy go down, Stevie, you might want to cut the cord and get on away from Diddy now. You might want to get the hell away from Diddy. Because, hey, it ain't going to be a good look for you when the feds come knocking now. You might want to get the hell away from Diddy. All right, so let's get on to the next story, honey. Blueface Mama Kalisha says that Diddy, since we're talking about this, it's going to be a Diddy type of night, that Diddy in Young Miami tried to recruit Chrisean Rock, you guys, to be a SEX slave for them. Said that they tried to recruit her for the longest. Okay, let's let her tell you, child. I said, wait, what? Wait a minute, what? They tried to what? Child, they tried to get Chrisean goodies, child. She said, not my goodies. My goodies, not my damn goodies. Okay. All right, so let me back it up. Child, this is the only way we're gonna be able to.
They was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and what the girl Chrisean was trying to recruit Rock. Remember that when they was heavily trying to get Rock to hang out with them? I think they was trying to recruit her. She got a lot going on. We're gonna talk about it on this podcast. And we're gonna get to the nitty-gritty of all the gritty of the nitty. Because it's necessary. I think them was trying to recruit her. Because remember they just had her pulling up to everything. Talking about you love her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember? See what I'm saying? We don't this podcast gonna be, because y'all know the mama know everything and everybody's business. So we gonna find out on this podcast. We ain't gonna talk no shit about nobody. We ain't gonna mock nobody, but we definitely gonna explore the possibilities that was going on. Because they kept calling her, remember, pull up to the birthday party. Come over here and dance on Chrisean. Remember that? I feel like they were trying to dance on Chrisean. They was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and
y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? It says that Carlisha, which is Blueface's mom, weighs in on Diddy and Young Miami trying to recruit Chrisean. Done told Chrisean to go over there and dance on Young Miami. Now trying to tell her to come to different parties. Y'all know what happened at the parties. So just going up over there so they can slip something in your drink. Now I done read it to you. Where they say that they give you them little gummies. They got special drinks for the guests. And then they got, the real non-toxic drink for the real people that's supposed to be there. So you better not, Chrisean. You better not go to none of them damn parties. Your ass gonna get turned out as well. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and get on into this damn deposition where we left off. We were on page 46, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it, Lord. All right. We were on page 46, Lord. Let's go ahead and share our screen and let's get in their business, Lord. Because listen, y'all know I like to be in business. All right. Yes, girl. Yes. All right. We're sharing so y'all can read with me, honey. Can y'all see my screen? Okay. Go on and put that one up if you guys can see the screen of this deposition for this Diddy case, child. Yes, Rose Armstead says, and swallowed up. Chrisean, girl, you about to get swallowed up, girl. Baby, you was gonna be swallowed up, honey. All right, go ahead and put that one in the chat for me, guys, if y'all can see my screen and you can hear me. Okay, we about to get on into it, honey, because this is child is getting juicier and juicy, Lord. Okay. All right, so we stopped on page 246, and that's where on page 46, damn. So that's where we're going to begin, all right? So we're going to be doing some good reading, honey. Thank you for the reading rainbow, honey, back in the day that helped me to be able to read, Lord. Okay, so let's get started. It says that the conduct of Mr. Combs and J. Combs described above was willful, wanton, and malicious. It says at all relevant times that Mr. Combs and J. Combs acted as conscious disregard for the plaintiff's rights and feelings and acted with the knowledge of or with reckless disregard for the facts that their conduct was certain to cause injury to plaintiff and intended to cause fear, physical injury, and or pain and suffering to plaintiff, which we know to be what's the guy's name? Oh shit. Jay, what's his name? Jay something, child. Anywho, by virtue of foregoing plaintiff entitled to recover punitive damages. All right, so let's get down. Mr. Jones, okay, that's Mr. Jones. Y'all know who Mr. Jones is. All right, so Mr. Jones, honey, this is saying that this is the fourth cause of action, sexual assault, honey, against Jane Doe, number 1, Young Miami's cousin, Lord. Woo. All right, let's get into this. All right, so number 235 says that Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and all realleges them as if set forth by herein. It says that as described above that Jane Doe 1 frightened and placed plaintiff in apprehension of harm when she physically and sexually assaulted him on Thanksgiving Day of 2022 in Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida. Okay. It goes on to say that Jane Doe 1 forcibly touched and attempted and or threatened to touch plaintiff's intimate areas and or touch plaintiff with her own intimate body parts, girl. Says that Jane Doe 1 used her mouth and performed oral, okay, on plaintiff while he was urinating in the restroom. Wait a minute. Ooh, flag on the play, flag on the play. Now he's urinating in the bathroom and you done child dropped down and got your eagle on, girl. You done dropped down and got your eagle on while he is in there using the damn bathroom. That's some nasty shit right there, okay? Ooh, child. Now it says the plaintiff fought her off while Mr. Combs and his associates sat outside laughing loudly, okay? Says that Jane Doe 1 then followed Mr. Jones outside of the restroom and began undressing in front of Mr. Combs, and his associates straddled Mr. Jones and attempted to have forced sexual intercourse with him. It says, as a result of Jane 1's conduct, that plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer harm, including physical injury, severe emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and other consequential damages for which he is entitled to an award of monetary damages and other reliefs, child. Ooh, Lord, they are nasty. I see y'all put it in there. Yes, honey, Miss Angela Kelly, that is nasty. All right, so it goes on to say that the conduct of Jane Doe described, honey, above was willful, wanton, and malicious. It says at all relevant times, Jane Doe acted with conscious, regard, blah, blah, blah. We know about that. All right, let's move on to the next situation, child. We are on page 47 of 73. This says its fifth cause of action, premises liability for the sexual assault committed by Jane Doe 1, Young Miami's cousin. Child, she doing a lot, girl. You're on 2 pages. Hot damn. All right, so it says that Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and re-alleges them as if set forth therein. It says that Mr. Jones was sexually assaulted by Jane Doe 1 in Miami, Florida on, did they just repeat that? Hold on, because I don't want to read repeats, okay? We already saw that. Okay. All right, so it says that Mr. Combs owned the premises and had dominion and control over the premises where Mr. Jones was harmed. Mr. Jones had dominion and control over the actions of Jane Doe 1 and failed to step in and stop Jane Doe 1 from sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. Okay, so he sat back laughing, thought the shit was funny. He probably told her to go in there, knowing him. Now it says that as the owner of the property, that Mr. Combs had a duty to protect Mr. Jones from the harm that he suffered at the hands of Jane Doe 1. It says that Mr. Combs breached his duty when he failed to stop Jane Doe 1 from sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. It says in furtherance of this breach that Mr. Combs, honey, was laughing and encouraging Jane Doe 1 to continue her assault of Mr. Jones. It says that Mr. Jones has suffered immensely because of Mr. Combs' intentional breach of his duty to him. It says that as a result that Mr. Combs breached his duty, it says that Mr. Jones has suffered and continues to suffer harm, including emotional distress, anxiety, and other consequential damages for which he is entitled to be awarded monetary damages, okay? And then it just talks about the conduct. We're going to go on. Page 48, 6 cause of action, premises liability of the sexual assault committed by Cuba Gooding Jr., child. Ooh, thanks for being here, Prosperity Thick Girl, okay? Thank you, dear. All right, so now it goes on to say we're going to be talking about our Cuba Gooding Jr., honey. This says against Mr. Combs, honey. Hold up. I said that Mr. Jones incorporates by reference of all preceding paragraphs and all realigns them as is set forth fully herein. It says that here Mr. Jones was actually assaulted, you guys, by Cuba Gooding Jr. on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands on January of 2023. It says that Mr. Combs was present while Mr. Jones was being assaulted by Cuba Gooding Jr. It says that Mr. Jones was legally on the premises as a guest and invitee of Mr. Combs. It says that Cuba Gooding Jr. was legally on the premises as a guest and invitee of Mr. Combs, okay? So it goes on to say that Mr. Combs, honey, owned through renting the premises and had dominion and control over the premises where Mr. Jones was harmed. Mr. Combs had dominion and control over the actions of Cuba Gooding Jr. and failed to step in to stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from sexually assaulting Mr. Jones, okay? My goodness. It says, as the owner of the property, Mr. Combs had a duty to protect Mr. Jones from the harm that he suffered at the hands of Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Combs breached his duty when he failed to stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from sexually assaulting him. Is repeating, so we're going to go down. All right. We don't care about that. All right. So the 7th cause of action, Trafficking and Victims Protection Act against defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Corian, which they call her KK, and Combs Global. Okay. It says that Mr. Combs incorporates by reference of all proceedings paragraph and re-alleges them as if set forth fully herein. Child, he is out here sexually assaulting folks, child. Cuba Gooding Jr. All right. Defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, which is his alleged son, which is not really his son. That's Wolf's son, child. Says that KK, which is Christina Corian, and Combs Global knowingly and intentionally participated in, perpetrated, assisted, supported, facilitated a sex trafficking venture that was which was in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce together with others in violation, and then it just has the Violation Act. Okay. It says that among other things, defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global knowingly and intentionally recruited, enticed, provided, obtained, advertised, and solicited by various means Mr. Jones, as well as other class members, knowing that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global would use means of force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, and combination of such means to cause Mr. Jones and others, some of whom were under the age of 17, you guys, OMG, to engage in commercial sex acts. Damn, acts, that's plural. Okay. Ooh, child. All right, so 253 here says that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global and its employees had actual knowledge that they were perpetrating and facilitating Mr. Combs' sexual abuse and sex trafficking, conspiracy to recruit, solicit, entice, coerce, harbor, transport, obtain, and provide Mr. Jones as well as others whom were under the age of 17 into commercial sex acts through the means of force, threats of force, fraud, abuse of process, and coercion. Okay. Despite such knowledge, defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global intentionally paid for, facilitated, perpetrated, and participated in Mr. Combs' various violations of 18, and then it just tells that, which defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global knew and were in reckless disregard of the fact that Mr. Combs would coerce, defraud, and force Mr. Jones to engage in commercial sex acts. Okay. So it says that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global actions, okay, were in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, including its music distributions and publishing activities, which were in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce. So they weren't just doing this in the States, they were out of the US doing this as well, taking yachts and coercing people, underage girls, as you guys saw, under the age of 17 to do things, and it was forced upon them. If they didn't do it, then there were consequences. Okay, allegedly. Moving right along, child. We're on page 50. We're moving on, ain't we? All right. So it says that by taking the concrete steps alleged in this complaint, that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Corian, which is KK, and Combs Global knowingly participated in sex trafficking and furthered the Combs sex trafficking venture. It says that the concrete steps constituted taking part in the sex trafficking venture and were necessary for its success. It says that the concrete steps constituted active engagement by defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global in Mr. Combs' sex trafficking venture. Okay. And it also says that they knew that is active engagement would also lead to and cause coercive commercial sex trafficking. Okay. Yes, I see you, Rose Armstead. That is a nasty demon, ain't it? Okay, now 257 goes on to say that as part of perpetrating TVPA violations that between on or about September 12th of 2022 and through about November of 2023, that defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global concealed its delivery of hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash to Mr. Combs and its associates. Okay. It says that as part of a perpetrating TVPA violations that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK and Combs Global also willfully failed to file required taxes with the federal government. So they were using this money that they got from SEX trafficking and did not file that with taxes. So now you're going to be in trouble with the IRS in addition to trafficking and RICO charges, dumbasses. Child, Lord. All right. Number 259 goes on to say that defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global's affirmative conduct was committed knowing and in reckless disregard of the facts that Mr. Combs would use cash and financial supports provided by defendants Love Records, Motown Records, and the Universal Music Group as means of defrauding, forcing, and coercing SEX acts from plaintiff Jones as well as others. It says that defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Corium, and Combs Global's conduct was outrageous and intentional. Says that on or about January of 2023, that Justin Combs engaged in a freak-off session on a yacht with his father and SEX workers. I know you fucking lying. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? On or about January of 2023, Justin Combs engaged in a freak-off session on a yacht with his father and SEX workers. Y'all hear that? So Diddy is now recruiting his son. Well, he's not really his son that we found out. His real father is Wolf. But this is the person that you raised, and all of his life he's known you as his father, and you've recruited this individual of doing freak-off sessions with you on this particular yacht with other SEX workers. How do you do that? I would not feel comfortable being in the same room doing sexual things with my father. Like that's some crazy shit. I'm sorry. This is why Misa Hilton, his mother, was saying that if you don't get your shit together after her son was found to have had a DUI, that she is talking. So maybe, just maybe, she knew of some things that was going on in this particular situation, because what we read in part 1 is that the trafficking have been going on for 20 years. Okay, 20 years. 20 years he's been doing trafficking. And now we're finding out that freak-off sessions are being done with his own son. Let's move on, child. Number 260. Defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global, knowing and intentional conduct has caused Mr. Jones serious harm, including without limitation, physical, psychological, emotional, financial, and reputational harm. It says that defendants and with all the names that we just named, knowing and intentionally conduct has caused Mr. Jones harm that is sufficiently serious under the surrounding circumstances to compel a reasonable person of the same background and in the same circumstances to continue performing commercial sexual activity in order to avoid incurring that harm. So meaning if he did not do these things, you're going to get exactly what you got before. Whatever harm I inflicted on you before, if you say that you're not going to do it, or you refuse to do these SEX or sexual things and or participate in these FOs, then I will inflict harm upon you. Okay, that's what it's saying here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm talking a lot. This is a lot, ain't it? Flower Bloom, my God. Ooh, child is juicy. We're on page 51. All right. It says that this case does not involve mere fraud. Instead, defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global criminal conduct is perpetrating TVPA violations was outrageous and intentional because it was in deliberate furtherance of a widespread and dangerous criminal SEX trafficking organization, which is RICO, okay? It says that defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global criminal conduct also evinced a high degree of moral turpitude, honey. I like that word. Look at me. Look how that flew out. Y'all see that? Reading skills, girl. Come through, Caramel. Turpitude and demonstrated such wanton dishonesty as to imply a criminal indifference to civil obligations. So it says that defendant Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Corian, and Combs Global criminal conduct was directed specifically at Mr. Jones, who was the victim of Mr. Combs' sexual abuse and sex trafficking harassment. Okay. All right, so defendants, all the names that we've named before, okay. outrageous and intentional conduct in this case is part of a pattern and practice of defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global profiting by undertaking illegal high-risk, high-reward actions. Okay. Hey guys, hey Delicia, this Milk, hey dear for being here. All right. So let's continue. It says, by virtue of these knowing and intentional violations of 18 USC, defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, KK, and Combs Global is liable to Mr. Jones for the damages they sustained and reasonable attorney fees. Okay. And we're going to skip on down. It says the 8 cause of action, California premise liability, inadequate or negligent security against defendants LR, MR, UMG, CSR, and Sean Combs. Okay. This is getting juicy. It says that Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and realleges them as if set forth fully therein. All right. It says that at all times herein mentioned, it says that defendants LR, MR, UMG, CSR, and Sean Combs acting in the course and scope of their agency, employment, and representation of each other, and with the knowledge, consent, direction, approval, and ratification of each other's act, omissions, and conduct on or about September 12th of 2022 at the Chalice Recording Studios located at 845 Highland Avenue, Los Angeles, California, did so negligently, okay, carelessly, and without due care, regard and concern for the rights, safety, and health of plaintiff, and in regard to such premises did so control, own, supervise, manage, lease, and had responsibility for safety of plaintiffs and adequate security personnel, and security devices of the CSR. Okay, we're on page 52 now, guys. Okay, you guys following me? So that's that reading rainbow paying off. Okay, yes, God, y'all see how it's just flowing off, girl. All right, and I have not read this all in its entirety, so I'm just kind of just I'm just going through it mostly with you guys. Okay, all right, because we want to get it out there. All right, so let's continue. Number 226 of page 52. All right. All right, so it says that at the aforementioned time and place, okay, the defendants LR, MR, UMG, CSR, and Sean Combs, and each of them negligently maintained, managed, controlled, and operated the Chalice Recording Studios, and in that they did not maintain and provide adequate security for the plaintiffs and or other artists, producers, and songwriters and creatives who attended Sean Combs' Love Album Writers Camp. All right. Defendants knew or in the exercises of reasonable care should have known security was provided or required rather and necessary, and the lack of such security could constitute a dangerous condition and reasonable or rather unreasonable risk of harm of which plaintiffs was at all times herein mentioned unaware. Okay. Defendants LR, MR, UMG, CSR, and Sean Combs had a security check the songwriters, producers, and artists, but neglected to search Justin Combs and Sean Combs for possession of firearms when they entered CSR. It says that defendants LR, MR, UMG, CSR, and Sean Combs negligently failed to take steps to either provide adequate security and make the conditions safe or warn plaintiffs of the dangerous conditions, okay, all of which caused plaintiffs to suffer injuries. Okay, this is when the pow occurred at Sit Studio that we talked about in part 1. All right, so it says that as a proximate result of the negligence of defendants, it says, and each of them, plaintiff was hurt and injured in his health, strength, and activity, sustaining injuries to their nervous system and person, all of which injuries have caused and continue to cause plaintiff great mental, physical, and nervous pain and suffering. Okay, it says as a result of such injuries, plaintiff has suffered general damage in an amount according to proof. All right, it says that as further proximate as a result of negligence and defendant's plaintiff has incurred and will continue to incur medical and related expenses in an amount according of proof. It says that wherefore plaintiff pray for judgment against defendants and each of them as follows: general damage according to proof, for actual medical expenses incurred, for future medical expenses according to proof, for loss of earning, for interest according to law, for cost of suit incurred herein, and for such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Okay. Page 53. Ninth cause of action: aiding, abetting, and inducing a sexual trafficking venture in violation of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act 18 USC against defendants Lucien Charles Grange, which is over the record company, Ethiopian Habertam, which is like a manager from P. Diddy, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group. All right. Mr. Jones incorporates, we read that. I don't want to hear that again. All right. Defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group aided, abetted, and induced Sean Combs' sexual trafficking venture that was in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce together and with others in violation. And then it just has the act there. Okay. It says that the crimes that defendants Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group aided and abetted are Mr. Combs perpetrated and coercive sex trafficking in violation. It shows the violation. 1 and 2, Mr. Combs' co-conspirators knowingly benefited from coercive sex trafficking in violation of, it has the violation here. It says that these crimes were in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce. Mr. Combs' co-conspirators benefited financially and received things of value from their participation in the Combs sex trafficking venture, including payments and other compensation from Mr. Combs. Okay, damn. I says that the co-conspirators who benefited financially includes defendants J. Combs, KK, okay, and her direct reports. Brendan Paul, which is the guy, the white guy that just recently got arrested for being Diddy's mule, that had the drugs on him. Okay, he was just arrested this past Tuesday. All right, Frankie Santella, he's also a runner. Okay, and Moy Bond. All right, I think he's a runner as well. Moving on. All right. So under the act, it says that defendants Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group are punishable as a principal under, and then it gives the act, okay, and hereby or thereby rather committed and perpetrated violations of Chapter 77 title. It gives the title code. When it aided, abetted, counseled, commanded, induced, and procured Combs and his co-conspirators sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking of plaintiff Jones, as well as other underage persons. Okay, so there's money being exchanged in this, and some people are going to go down, as you guys can hear. Underage, I keep hearing underage. Okay, so not just in the U.S. but also in other countries as well. All right, so under another code, it says that defendant Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, and Love Records, Universal Music Group committed and perpetrated crimes in violation. It gives the violation codes by aiding and abetting, inducing, and procuring Combs and his co-conspirators sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking with Mr. Combs. As a consequence, Mr. Jones is a victim of defendants J. Combs, KK, and her direct reports. Brendan Paul, which is the white guy that just got arrested for carrying the Louis bag, the black Louis bag with the drugs for Diddy. Okay, Frankie Santella, he's also a runner, and Moy Bond, he also is one of the people who helps pay for the FOs. Okay, if you will, whenever they come around. Okay, we already read that, and I also did my homework a little bit on this too. Criminally aided and abetted and inducing Combs and his co-conspirators violation. It gives the violation codes. All right, number 277 of page 53, guys. We're moving along here. Defendants J. Combs, KK, and her direct reports, Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Moy Bond itself directly committed and perpetrated violations. Chapter 77, Title 18 U.S. Code, including, and it gives the codes by aiding and abetting, inducing sex trafficking. Is just kind of going over the same thing. All right, committing and perpetrating these violations. All right, so it's saying that these people directly reported to KK. KK was the person that they reported to. Moy Bond actually paid the people for the FOs. Frankie Santella was a runner for Diddy. Brendan Paul was indeed the person who held on to the drugs and also gave the said drugs to the people who participated in the FOs. Okay, you guys caught up on that? Y'all said that maybe he didn't involve him because he knows that he's really his son. That's a possibility. That's a great one. That's a great assessment, Angela Kelly. Okay. Yeah. But it's sad you raised him as your son. I mean, he sees you as his son, and now it is, his name is mentioned a lot in this damn case. So this is crazy. All right, so let's skip down because I don't want to keep reading the same thing. All right, so let's go to 280. It says that defendant J. Combs, Chrisean, and her direct reports, Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Moy Bond and its employees had actual knowledge that they were aiding, abetting, and inducing Combs, and his co-conspirators, sexual abuse and sex trafficking conspiracy to recruit, solicit, and entice, coerce, harbor, transport, obtain, and provide Mr. Jones as well as others into commercial sex acts, that's plural, through the means of force, threats of force, fraud, abuse of process, and coercion. It says that defendants knew and should have known that Mr. Combs had engaged in acts of violations of the TVPA. All right. This sounds like a lot of the stuff that R. Kelly was doing, and he's going to get that R. Kelly time. All right, so despite such knowledge, defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group intentionally paid for, aided, and abetted. Okay, we already know about that. Moving on. Page 55 of 73, says that the group knew and acted in reckless disregard of the fact that Mr. Combs, honey, would coerce, defraud, and force Mr. Jones to engage in commercial sex acts. All right, so he was forced into doing these things when really he was just supposed to be a producer on Diddy's album. Like, how did it go from me being a producer on your album to now being an sex traffic worker who is forced to do these things? And if I don't do these things, then aggressive force will be put upon me. Okay, let's skip on down because some of this stuff is repetitive and we don't want to keep reading repetitive stuff. All right. All right, so 284. So defendants Lucien Charles, Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group knowingly and intentionally conduct intentional conduct of aiding and abetting and inducing Combs violation has caused Mr. Jones harm that is sufficiently serious under all the surrounding circumstances to compel a reasonable person of the same background and in the same circumstances to perform or to continue to perform commercial sex activity in order to avoid incurring that harm. Okay, my Lord. Says that this case does not involve mere fraud. Instead, the defendant's criminal and conduct aiding and abetting and inducing Combs violations of the TVPA was outrageous and intentional because it was in deliberate furtherance of a widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. That's RICO, okay? Says that defendants Lucien Charles, Grange, Ethiopian Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, Universal Music Group, criminal conduct has evinced a high degree of moral turpitude, there go that word again, and demonstrated such wanton dishonesty as to imply a criminal indifference to civil obligations. We're going to move down, okay? All right. I want to make sure we're not repeating because I don't like to keep reading the same shit over and over. I want to save my voice just a little bit, okay? Our 10th cause of action. We're on page 56, okay? We're moving along because we started on 46, so we're 10 pages in, guys. So 10th cause of action, NIAID for sexual assault against defendant Jane Doe 1, Young Miami's cousin. She is back again, child. This nasty biatch. All right. Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and all realleges them as if set forth fully therein. Jane Doe 1's conduct created an unreasonable risk of causing emotional distress of plaintiff or to plaintiff, and Jane Doe 1 knew or should have known that such conduct was likely to result in emotional distress that might and or likely would have caused illness or bodily harm, okay? It says it as a direct and proximate result of the negligent conduct of Jane Doe 1 that plaintiffs suffered and will continue to suffer emotional distress, All right, moving on, 11th cause of action, okay, against Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones incorporates, That's the same shit. I'm not reading it again. All right, let's move on down. It just says the same thing that he tried to give bodily harm to Mr. Jones, which we already know, and we've heard that it was malicious, willful, and cruel entitlement of the plaintiff to seek punitive damages. That's all that says there, okay? I just summed it up. All right, 12 cause of action. All right, it's kind of the same thing. Okay, that these says that these actions were taken with the intent to cause or disregard for substantial probability of causing severe emotional distress. Says that as a direct or proximate result of Jane Doe 1 extreme and outrageous conduct, that plaintiff has suffered with severe emotional distress. Okay, so he's going to obviously get paid for emotional distress because that is what he's seeking in this situation. Okay, let's move on. 13 cause of action. It just kind of goes on that. So it's so many counts. Okay, 14 cause of action is pretty much repetitive, saying the very same thing, you guys, and it's naming the same people. Defendants Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopia Habertan, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group. It's saying that all of them are included in this particular violation. They are knowingly the beneficiary of the SEX trafficking venture in violation of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, okay, which is 18 USC, and then it gives the particular code, okay. All right, so he's actually filing a lawsuit against all of them. You guys may not know, too, I was reading, too, that Lucien Grange, who is over Universal Music Group, he is now filing a lawsuit against Mr. Jones for naming him in this particular lawsuit, okay? So he is filing a countersuit against Mr. Jones for naming him in this particular lawsuit. He is saying that he had nothing to do with this, and the fact that he was named in this, he is now filing his own countersuit. He's trying to get out of this. He don't want to be named in this because that's going to be a huge scarlet letter on him and his career, okay? Yeah, so I don't think Mr. Jones going to be up here lying about this shit. If you were there, if you were reaping benefits from this, if there are wire transfers of money from SEX trafficking from Diddy to you, sir, I mean, you filing this damn egregious lawsuit to countersuit, that's going to only make you look stupid and pay money that you don't have to pay. Just going to do what you got to do. Try to make some type of deal with the feds to where maybe you don't spend too much time. You're going to spend some because trafficking and RICO charges, baby, that's fed time. And most of the time, you got to serve all that fed time, from my understanding, okay? You got to serve all that time. So your ass should have been doing it in the first damn place. But let's move on. All right, so it says defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopia Habertan, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group took many concrete steps to aid and participate in Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking venture. Among the concrete steps that defendant Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopia Habertan, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group took to aid Mr. Combs was providing vast sums of cash. See, now they're dealing in cash. They were smart enough not to use bank records and moving that type of money because it will flag. Y'all know if you're moving certain amounts of money and you're doing it regularly, the bank will flag that. And also IRS will also be flagged and say, hey, did y'all know? The bank will flag that, hey, did you guys know that this type of money is being moved this much and with this amount of money? So now they're being smart to do vast sums of cash in order to make this trafficking situation work strategically, looks like the way they wanted to. All right, so which made the SEX trafficking venture possible. Okay, that's what it's saying here. Providing Mr. Combs with large sums of U.S. currency caused defendants Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopia Habertan, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group to receive financial benefits. Okay. It says that defendants Lucien Charles Grange, Ethiopia Habertan, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group willingly, and their willingness rather to participate or to provide rather large amounts of cash to Mr. Combs was the quid pro quo for it receiving financial benefits from Mr. Combs. Okay. It also goes on to say that the cash that the defendants Lucien Grange, all the names that we just named, okay, to coerce plaintiff Jones to engage in commercial SEX acts. It says that the cash directly formed a part of the commercial nature of the SEX acts. The cash was also necessary and required part of Mr. Combs' recruitment to plaintiff Jones, as well as other SEX workers, prostitutes with a fee, and underage minors. So these people were paid, you guys, in order to participate in these acts. These were not free acts. Obviously, it's saying here they were paid. Prostitutes with a P, SEX workers, underage minors. Okay. Yeah, y'all, this shit is serious. All right, so by providing cash that defendants, all the names that we just named, knew would be used to fund the SEX trafficking venture, defendants, all the names that we just named, participated in the recruitment of the victims of the venture as well. Okay, that's what's stated here. The cash that the defendants, all the names that we named, provided went far beyond providing routine sponsorship, partnership, and employer compensation for a subordinate, okay? It says that it was far from routine for defendants Lucien, all the names that we named, who did not have an apparent legitimate need for such extravagant sums, okay? It says that the sheer number of listening parties, yacht parties, and nighttime writers' camp after parties, which defendants Lucien, all the names that we just named, went far beyond normal for the music industry. It says that defendants Lucien, Charles Grange, all the names that we just named, knew or should have known that they were feeding Mr. Combs' sexual deviancy. Moreover, the circumstances in which Mr. Combs was requesting such large amounts were far from routine and should have raised numerous red flags, taking it well outside of routine circumstances. Y'all know Diddy was always having white parties. If y'all follow Diddy, if y'all know how Diddy moved, Diddy has always had all these extreme parties where a lot of celebrities, dignitaries, royal people, as we know, attended as well. Anybody in the music industry, rappers, actors, actresses, you name it, were there. And we also know that TD Snakes with his nasty ass was up in there too at some of these parties. So anytime that these parties were held, there was a lot of drugs there. There were a lot of underage girls there. There was a lot of money, cash being exchanged for sexual favors. I was reading something and I saw a video that talked about in these particular parties that there would be separate rooms to where you would go in these rooms. One of the rooms of which at one of Diddy's house had this huge bed where all of these men would be laying on the bed, not clothed, of course, and they would be doing these acts. And everybody would be just like in this zone. They would be zoned out doing these crazy, wild acts. And this one person that was at this party was looking for a bathroom and actually opened the door, okay, unbeknownst to them, opened the door looking for a bathroom and actually witnessed all of this, okay? Yeah, this person spoke about it on one of their videos. I'm going to have to find that video and play it on here. But they said that Diddy kind of looked up and he acted like he didn't give a damn, maybe because he was high. But it said that everybody in the room just looked zoned out and they were doing all these crazy sexual things to each other. And Diddy was right there laid up in the middle of all of that, and things were being done to him as well. But they said when this said person opened the door, that nobody jumped like, oh my God, what are you doing in here? It was just like, hey, what do you do? Hey, maybe come on in and join us. That's kind of the look that they were saying. So at these parties, child, they said a lot of stuff be going on. And there's a lot of money exchanged, okay? It says, yes, TD Jakes took pictures. Yes, he did. Okay. Cameras were in all rooms. They were. Okay. So a lot of people are going to probably be questioned in this particular case because, like they just said, cameras were in every single room, including bathrooms. Okay. So if you went to one of the Diddy parties and you did some freaky dicky shit, baby, you on camera. Whether you approved it or not, baby, you on camera. And whatever little nasty act you did, yeah, that shit is on camera. And Diddy got it all. And of course, y'all know the feds now has it because they just did Diddy's house and all of his electronics, cameras, and everything else. All of that stuff has been confiscated. So we're gonna hear about a whole lot of people, y'all, and some freaky deaky shit, and some people about to go down. All right, let's continue. Let's continue, child. So we're not gonna continue to repeat. So it's still talking about the SCX trafficking. We don't care. Page 60 of 73. We're moving on, okay? That's repetitive, okay? That's repetitive. That's just talking about the SCX trafficking. They're taking steps towards We don't care. Same repetitive bullshit on page 60. All right, let's move on. All right, okay, let's read this one. F. All right, says that defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopia Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group knew through the years of lawsuits, hush money, guys, same shit R. Kelly was doing, settlements, and notice that was provided by Miss Cassie Ventura. Okay, Cassie's name is mentioned here. That the defendant Lucien Grange, Ethiopia Habertam, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group was participating in a particular SCX trafficking venture. So that was during the time that Cassie was involved as well, okay? Which she also named that in her lawsuit, all right? So defendants Lucien Grange, all the names that we named before, guys, okay? And Universal Music Group knowledge went far beyond having an abstract awareness of the SCX trafficking in general, okay? So all these people had something to do with it when Cassie was being trafficked as well, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so it goes on to say, did I lose my spot? So indeed, Okay, so indeed, defendants Lucien Charles and all the names, okay, were present at the Chalice Recording Studios and in Mr. Combs' Miami, LA, and New York homes while he was actively engaging in freak-off parties and SEX trafficking and in large amounts of cash that defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, and Universal Music Group were giving him. Thus, defendants, okay, Lucien Grange and all the names that we named did not simply fail to inadequately detect signs of Combs' SEX trafficking, that it did detect multiple signs of Mr. Combs' coercive SEX trafficking venture and continued to participate in those ventures, okay? Now, it also goes on to say that, of course, all the names that we named knew that the venture was ongoing, which was why Combs required vast sums of cash, okay? All right, so let's go down to G. It says that the defendants, Lucien Grange, and all the names that we named actually actions extended well beyond the situations of failing to train themselves and their staff about recognizing the warning signs of SEX trafficking. It says that defendants, Lucien Grange, and all the names that we named, employees did recognize the signs of Combs' SEX trafficking. It says indeed, all the names that we named is just kind of repetitive. Just kind of repetitive. Okay, so Cassie's name is mentioned here again. It says that among the signs that defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopian Havertam, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group was facilitating Combs' SEX trafficking venture, where those facts that came to the attention of defendants Lucien Grange, Ethiopian Havertam, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group from the reporting of Mr. They meant Miss Cassie. They put Mr. Cassie, but Miss Cassie Ventura mentioned above. Okay, it says that among the signs of defendant Lucien Grange, let's move down. SEX trafficking venture were those facts that came to the attention of the defendants Lucien Grange, all the names that we named. So it's saying that all of these people knew what was going on, and they also participated and they also received funding from these things. Okay, all right, so. It's saying that all the names we named, Lucien Grange, Ethiopian Havertam, it says are officers of defendants Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group, and knew the names of many Combs' SEX trafficking and freak-off participants. Young Miami, y'all hear this? They're naming names, guys. We're getting the names. We're getting into the names. All right. So Lucien Charles, Ethiopian Havertam, okay, this says that SEX trafficking and freak-off participants, Young Miami, which is Chrisean, Daphne Joy, which is 50 Cent's baby mama, who he's now getting ready to take her son, Stevie J, y'all hear that? Stevie J, who was just seen in a video with Diddy, and Jade, okay? There's another woman who also participated in that. So Stevie J, your name is in this, sir. All right, so defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, helped to conceal the names of Combs' victims from the public and from law enforcement and prosecuting agencies by helping to conceal the existence of the SEX trafficking venture. Among the ways in which defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, helped to conceal the venture's existence was by providing the cash necessary for the venture to avoid leaving a visible paper trail. Additionally, they employed and empowered Fahim Muhad, okay, which is security, okay, and defendant KK to pay off law enforcement and to compensate the SEX workers with cash. We already know Young Miami at one point was getting $500K, and then he dropped her down to $250K after he had to pay Cassie her $100 million. He also had to get rid of and not pay Young Miami anymore because he didn't have the money to. Okay, but he's still moving, child, and shaking out here. All right. So let's get on into the next one. Defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named. Concealment included failing to provide enhancement monitoring that was required for someone like Combs. Okay, it says that defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named failed to implement and enhance monitoring of Mr. Combs' SEX parties to ensure that underage girls and SEX workers were not present. Says that they failed to do so by specifically to help conceal Combs' ongoing SEX trafficking. Okay, Mr. Defendant Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, knew that if it implemented that enhanced monitoring, that it would have stopped providing Combs with the cash needed to run his SEX trafficking venture. Okay, so they're like, you better keep this money coming in here. So that's how he's been able to afford all these lavish parties, by getting underage girls and SEX workers to come in there. Okay, child. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so it says that all the names that we named, Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, included failing to report Mr. Combs' suspicious SEX trafficking activities to law enforcement, and for failing to report their financial support and sponsorship of Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking parties to the federal government for tax purposes. Damn. Okay. All right, so let me see here, because I don't want to keep repeating. Okay, yeah, so. All right, so let's get into this one. This one is juicy. This is juicy. All right. It says that, let me find a starting point because that's repetitive up here. All right, so in addition to having actual knowledge that it was participating in Combs' SEX trafficking venture, defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named had constructive knowledge that it was participating in Combs' SEX trafficking venture. Defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named also had constructive knowledge that plaintiffs James and other underage minors were being coercively SEX trafficked by Combs. Says it's constructive knowledge extended to the names of Combs' victims because Combs and his associates knew the names of the victims. Okay. It says that Mr. Combs had hundreds of cameras in his home in LA, New York City, and Miami. Mr. Combs required the SEX workers and underage girls to sign NDAs prior to entering his parties and prior to being drugged and SEX trafficked at the parties. Y'all hear that? So they had to sign NDAs to say, you're going to do all these horrible and egregious things to me. I ain't going to tell nobody. And whatever happens to me just happens as long as I get the money. Okay? Y'all. All right, so that's repetitive. We're not going to talk about that one. Okay, that's just talking about the trafficking. Okay, so let's see. Mr. Combs made numerous cash withdrawals from defendants Lucien, Charles Grain, Ethiopian Habitat, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group accounts, okay, through Mr. Combs' accountant, Robin Greenhill, okay? There's a new name there, Robin Greenhill. It says that the circumstances of these withdrawals gave defendants notice that Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking enterprise was being funded, so they knew about it, okay? Lord have mercy. All right, so among the financial benefits of the defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, and Universal Music Group received for participating in and facilitating Combs' SEX trafficking venture with the affiliation and access to Mr. Combs' popularity. It says that Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best parties. I bet he was. Affiliation with and or sponsorship of Mr. Combs' SEX traffic parties garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. Okay, Mr. Combs and Combs control entities made the defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named. Okay. Profited from their affiliates, okay, or affiliation rather, with Mr. Combs and their sponsorship of SEX trafficking parties. It says that Mr. Combs and Combs control entities used the sponsorship funds in exchange for defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, facilitation and participation in the SEX trafficking venture, including its willfulness to provide large amounts of cash in suspicious circumstances, and to allow their failure to report these sponsorships on their taxes to the U.S. federal government to avoid triggering suspicion of the federal government. So they didn't report shit because they didn't want the feds to be up on their ass like that, but they on you now. Child. All right, so that's repetitive. We're going to skip down. We're on page 64 of 73. All right, so let's skim through, make sure. That's repetitive. That's repetitive. We're breezing on through, guys. That's repetitive. Why do they keep repeating this? Like, I don't care to keep regurgitating the same shit. All right, so Lucien Charles, and all the names that we named, okay, Their group's conduct was outrageous and intentional, in addition to actual knowledge that it was participating in facilitating the Combs SEX trafficking venture that defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, also should have known that it was participating in facilitating same shit, okay. Moving down, this is just saying that psychological, physical, emotional, financial, and reputational harm was made during these acts, okay. All right, so they said that this case does not involve mere fraud. Instead, that Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, is in violation of the TVPA, was outrageous and intentional because it was deliberate furtherance of the widespread of dangerous criminal SEX trafficking organizations. Same stuff that we talked about before. Let's move on down. Page 66 of 73. 15 cause of action, obstruction of the enforcement of the Trafficking Victim Protection Act. It gives that act against defendant Lucien Grange, all the names that we named. Okay, let me read. Make sure we're not leaving anything out because this stuff is repetitive, okay? Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? All 322. Thank y'all for hanging in there, okay? All right, so I see something here that's mentioning Epstein. Let's read that. So it says that defendant Sean Combs has a well-documented history of criminal investigations, okay? It says that defendants Lucien Charles Grange and all the names that we named, okay, were on notice of Mr. Combs' proclivity. Oh shit. Proclivity to criminal activity, okay? It says that they knew or should have known that Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking operation would or could result in a criminal investigation by the state and federal prosecutors for violating, among other laws, okay, the TVPA. Defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named, okay, should have been taken cue from the federal prosecutor's arrest and prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein on or about July 8th of 2019. So it's the same shit that Epstein was doing, guys. That's what they're saying here. The same thing that Epstein was doing, this is what they're doing, okay? They just have a bigger enterprise. It says on or about that date that the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of New York indicted Epstein, as we all know. We know how that situation went down. He also unalived himself in the prison, okay? All right, for violating the TVPA. Later on, about June 29th of 2020, the same office indicted Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, in which she is serving, I think, 25 years in prison for conspiracy to entice minor victims to travel or be abused by Epstein. It says that Mr. Combs, defendants J. Combs, and all the names that we named in her direct reports, Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Moy Bond all engaged in the same activities as Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell. So that means y'all got a lot of time y'all get ready to face when they do get through this investigation. So in fact, Mr. Combs, defendants J. Combs, and all the names that we named may have done worse than Epstein. Damn. So Diddy, you out here doing worse than Epstein, and Epstein did some crazy shit. He had them girls locked up on that island to where they couldn't get off. You could only get in on his island by way of boat or helicopter. That's the only way you can get on that island, and those girls were scared as hell. One girl said that she was so scared and she was so tired of the stuff that was going on Epstein's island, because I watched the documentary. She said that she just wanted to throw herself in the water and just try to swim and chance it, because she was made to do some very egregious things by grown men. And she was a minor, guys, during that time. And she was brought there by helicopter. Okay? That's the only way on and off that island, helicopter or boat. This shit's crazy. All right. So by providing financing for Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking organization and concealing its actions therefore or thereafter, defendants Lucien Grange and all the names that we named interfered with and prevented the state and federal government enforcement of the TVPA, okay, against Mr. Combs, defendants J. Combs, KK, and her direct reports. I'm sorry, guys. Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Moy Bond. To the extent of the federal government was able to ultimately charge Mr. Combs, defendants J. Combs, KK, and her direct reports, Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Moy Bond with the TVPA violations. The filings of those charges were delayed by defendant Lucien Grange, Ethiopia Habitat, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group actions. Because of that delay, Mr. Jones was coercively caused to engage in commercial SEX acts. Okay. Wow. Okay, so it says that as one example of how defendant Lucian Charles Grange and Ethiopia Habitam and all the names that we named attempted to obstruct, interfere with, and prevented state and federal government's enforcement of the TVPA. Defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay, provided large amounts of cash to Mr. Combs and its associates so that the coercive commercial SEX Act could or would escape the detection of the state and federal law enforcement and prosecuting agencies, okay? Defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay? And her direct reports, okay? Of course, they provided large sums of cash. Her direct reports, Brendan Paul, which is the white guy that just got arrested Tuesday, Frankie Santella, and more bond SEX trafficking venture, and with the purpose of helping Mr. Combs, okay, defendants J. Combs and all the names that we named, okay, violate the TVPA. All right, so page 68 of 73. We get in there, guys. Okay, so that's just kind of repeating. Repeating, okay? We're not going to read repeats because we're trying to get through it. Okay, so defendants Lucian Grange, Lucian Charles Grange, and all the names that we name, attempted destruction, interference with, and prevented of law enforcement TVA were all done intentionally and knowingly. For example, defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we name knew that Mr. Combs was at high risk, specifically high risk to violate the TVPA through continuing criminal SEX trafficking activities. As evidenced by Cassie Ventura's civil complaint, okay, she informed members of Mr. Combs' parent label about the abuses that he was visiting upon her, and instead of coming to her rescue, they forced her to return his calls and to return to his SEX trafficking enterprise. Because y'all know Cassie got away. She got away at one point and she went to go stay with her mother to where she didn't think they knew where she was, but Diddy had tracking devices on her vehicle. He also had cameras within her home to where he could see her at all times. He also had cameras inside of Kim Porter's home as well, okay? So he watched her when it looked like, I remember reading to where it said that Kim Porter was getting ready to go to the feds. He had her followed, and she actually called. She actually called Al B. Sure to tell him that she was afraid that something was going on. So that is why he was saying that he didn't feel like she died of lobar pneumonia because of conversations that was had, okay? And she actually had to she had to get a burner phone because Diddy was also tapping her cell phone, and any conversations that she was having, he was also listening in. So not only was he watching her in her home and everything that she did, he was also tapping her phone, okay? Let's continue. All right, so defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay, was aware of Mr. Combs had a laundry list of criminal charges and barely escaped serving prison time. Upon information and belief that Mr. Combs engaged in witness intimidation and bribery to escape criminal liability for pow-powing Natanya Rubin in the face. Y'all remember that? The black lady who now wants that case reopened, okay? Defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named was aware that there were public allegations that Mr. Combs his illegal conduct was facilitated by several named co-conspirators, that they were made aware of this through complaints made by Cassie Ventura in her lawsuit, okay, and the lawsuit by former Diddy SEX worker Jonathan O'Deed, okay. Defendants Lucian Charles Grange and all the names that we named, okay, concealed from the state and federal government is numerous cash payments to those co-conspirators, all right. It says that defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named also continued its affirmative conduct of providing cash to Mr. Combs and his associates so that he could make those cash payments to the co-conspirators with knowledge that such cash transactions did not produce a clear paper trail. Now, defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named attempted to, okay, intentional conduct obstruction, attempted to obstruct, in many ways interfered with and prevented law enforcement of the TVPA by investigators and prosecuting agencies, okay? This is repetitive. We will skip that. We are now on page 70 of 73, guys. We're almost to the end of this damn thing, all right? Okay, so defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay, their obstruction of the government's TVPA and other law enforcement's efforts were intentional and willful, and therefore defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, commission of the forcible commercial SEX acts with Mr. Jones through its obstruction supporting of the concealment of Mr. Combs' SEX trafficking venture. Defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay, and his other co-conspirators would use means of force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, and a combination of such means to cause Mr. Jones to engage in commercial sex or SEX acts. So he was made to do these things, guys. That's so sad. All right, so defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named knew and acted in reckless disregard of the fact that he should have known, which we read that before, that those would directly and proximately lead to unlawful coercive commercial SEX acts by Mr. Combs with men like Plaintiff Jones, young men, women, and young girls, okay? The caramel is reading, and we getting through this thing, y'all. Okay, so defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we name, okay, it says that obstruction has caused Mr. Jones serious harm, including without limitation physical, psychological, financial, and reputational harm. It says that that harm was directly and proximately caused by the obstruction, and the harm resulting from obstruction was foreseeable. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so defendants Lucian Charles and all the names that we name, okay. Obstruction has caused Mr. Jones harm that is sufficiently serious under all surrounding circumstances to compel a reasonable person of the same background and in the same circumstances to perform or to continue performing commercial sexual activity to avoid incurring that harm. Okay, says that this case does not involve fraud. We read that before. Moving on to page 71. All right, let me grab this last sentence here, okay? Okay, so the obstruction, they are obstructing the enforcement of the TVA was outrageous and intentional because it was in deliberate furtherance, okay, of a widespread of dangerous criminal SEX trafficking organization. Defendants Lucian Grange and all the names that we named, okay, their obstruction also evinced, okay, a high degree of moral turpitude, I like that word, and demonstrated such wanton dishonesty and to imply a criminal indifference to civil obligations. All right. All right. So is that the same thing? That's the same thing. Let's skip down. Okay, so this is a prayer for relief. Okay, so it says that wherefore plaintiff prays that the court enter judgment in her favor and against defendants containing the following relief: a declaratory judgment that the actions, okay, conduct and practices of the defendants complained of herein violate the laws of the state of New York. Okay, an award of damages against the defendant in an amount to be determined at trial, okay, plus prejudgment interest to compensate plaintiffs for all monetary and economic damages, including but not limited to loss of past or future income, wages, compensation, seniority, and other benefits of employment, okay? It also goes on to say that an award of damage against defendant in an amount or to be determined at trial, plus prejudgment interest to compensate plaintiff for all non-monetary and or compensation damages, including but not limited to compensation for her mental anguish, humiliation, embarrassment, stress, and anxiety, emotional pain and suffering, and emotional distress. Damn, they're getting it all, okay? It's an award of punitive damages, okay? I'm sorry, guys. In an amount to be predetermined at trial, prejudgment interest of all amounts due, and award of all costs that plaintiff has incurred in his action, including but not limited to expert witness fees, as well as plaintiff reasonable attorney fees and costs to the fullest extent permitted by law, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper, okay? That's just a jury demand. T.A. Blackburn Law is who is Tyrone A. Blackburn Esquire. That is who is defending him, okay? All right, so page 72 of this case, which was filed 2/26 of 24, that's just a preservation notice, okay? I don't think we need to read that, do we? Well, we can. It says that the term you, your, or yours as used herein shall refer to you, the participant of this letter, as well as the respondent and any individual responsible for the custody and control of the below information, including but not limited to those individuals, administrative assistants, secretaries, agents, employees, information technology personnel, and third-party vendors. From this point forward, you are directed to prevent spoliation, defined as altering, changing, updating, destroying, even if periodically editing or deleting any information set hereafter. If you cause any such alteration, destructive, or change, directed or allow it to incur, you may be charged with discovery rule violations for which sanctions, okay, may be imposed. All right. Further, your failure to abide by this request could result in severe penalties against you and form a base of legal claims for spoliation, okay, spoliation, okay. All right, so electronically stored information. In terms of electronically stored information, you are directed to prevent any destructive, alternative, or change any verbiage or web pages, okay, virtual profiles, identical, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Google+, Flickr, Vine, About Me, Ask FM, etc., or any other social media-based web profile or networking site. Okay, recordings, digital recordings, media images or videos, temporary memory sticks, portable memory devices, laptops or computers, CDs, DVDs, USB devices, databases, computer activity logs, internet browsing history, including cookies, network access or server activity logs, word processing files. They just break everything down and saying what they cannot change or make changes to during this case. All right. You are directed not to modify, alter, or delete, or allow modifications, alterations, or deletions, or be made to any electronic stored information. So that's just letting them know, don't be on no shit of trying to get rid of it, because we can trace it. They have people who are professionals that can see when things have been altered. So they let them know, if you do that, you will be sanctioned and you will be charged with tampering with evidence. Okay. All right. So it's saying the same thing for paper text message, for paper information. They're not allowed to do anything photograph wise, investigative information or other documents, controversy, parties, witnesses, by way of discovery, including text messages, emails, photographs, and other information stored on computers, electronic devices, or telephones. Okay. So they're letting them know you can't change any of these things. And if you do, you will be sanctioned and or charged. Okay. We get down to page 73. It says, although we may bring a motion with a court for order preserving documents and other data from destruction or alteration, your obligation to preserve documents and other data for discovery in this case arises independently from any order of such motion. Okay. Electronic documentation and the storage media, including but not limited to telephone or which they reside, contain relevant discoverable information beyond what may be found or in printed documents. All right. So therefore, even where a paper copy exists, we will likely seek all documents in their original electronic form, along with metadata or information about those documents on the media. Okay. It says that we will seek paper printouts of only those documents and contain unique information created after they were printed. An example, paper documents containing handwritten signatures, marginalia, drawings, annotations, highlightings, and redactions. Okay. And any paper documents for which no correspondence electronic files exist. All right. They ain't playing. They looking at everything. Like, they got all the electronic devices from Diddy's. So if he's trying to manipulate anything on his end, they're going to see it, because they have the professionals watching. They know when people are under investigation like this, that they're going to try to alter things to avoid certain consequences. So if they alter any of those things, in addition to the RICO charges, trafficking charges, and the R-word charges, and any other charges that they have against them, you will be sanctioned and or charged with tampering with evidence. And they're letting them know it's spelled out right here in page 73, which is the last page of our actual reading of this deposition. Okay. All right. So accordingly, the demand is made that you take every reasonable step to preserve this information until the final resolution of this matter. Says that this may include, but will not be limited to, an obligation to discontinue all data destruction and backup tape recycling policies concerning electronic data created after this complaint's delivery date. Relevant evidence should not be destroyed. You must take the necessary steps to avoid the destruction of such evidence. All right. This is dated February 26th of 2024 in Brooklyn, New York, by attorney Tyrone A. Blackburn, Esquire, who is representing Mr. Jones. Okay. So the demand for insurance coverage says that the defendants are demanded to provide a complete copy of their applicable insurance policies and declaration sheets demonstrating coverage within 30 days of service of this complaint. All right. Again, that's dated February 26th of 2024, Brooklyn, New York, again by Tyrone Blackburn, Esquire. And we are at the end of our deposition, guys. Did y'all like that? Did y'all get a lot of information in terms of what's going on in this new case with Diddy? Yes, guys, this really spells out all the things that he's going to be charged with. The RICO charge is really going to hit him the most. Trafficking, yes, but that RICO, that's going to get a whole lot of people who is involved with this. Okay, all the names that we named, the Brendan Paul, the guy that just got arrested, that's not going to be all that he gets. Okay, the arrest for the drugs, that's just the icing on the cake, baby. They're going to get you for luring these young girls, for helping to drug them, and a whole bunch of other things that was named out in this particular case. So I don't know why Mr. Let me go back to the names. Charles Lucian Charles Grange. I don't know why you're trying to do a case against him on this. Okay, but you need to sit back, sir, because your name is mentioned in this many, many times. Your name is mentioned. Ethiopia Habertam's name is mentioned. Okay, Diddy's alleged supposed to have been son at the time is mentioned, and Stevie J, your name is mentioned as well, in addition to some other people. So we're gonna sit back and see how this works out. I'm gonna keep my ears to the streets, and any updates that I get involving this particular case, you guys, I will definitely keep you guys updated as I get updated. So I hope this was an eye-opener to you guys, so that you guys can see what really went on we did it in this damn SCX trafficking ring, which has been going on for over 20 years, that we found out in part 1 of the reading of this deposition. So 20 years, R. Kelly did his 30 years, y'all. 30 years, R. Kelly was on his bullshit. Diddy, they caught you in 20 years. So guess what, sir? The same charges that R. Kelly, I don't know what it is with the music industry where they got to be doing this with the underage girls, and they're going across seas and getting girls like, oh my God. Yes, I see you, Sanji, say that Stevie J is talking too much. Right. You can't even say you don't know him, because we just saw you in a recent video with him in Miami. Okay. We already saw that. We already know you be on the Coquiana because we saw you on the live where you were high. Okay. We already know. So you can't say that you didn't know about this and that you didn't have anything to do with this. Yes, you did. So that's what all these Diddy, y'all know Diddy always had these white parties where everybody dress up in white and come there, and y'all think they on this shit here. Nah. They back there in them back rooms doing some very nasty things and drugging women allegedly. That's what this lawsuit is spelling out. So as I get updates, guys, I will give you guys updates as well. This shit is very sick. It makes me want to throw up just the thought of somebody's child. That's a child. For you to be a father of girls. I keep saying it. I never understand. R. Kelly, you got daughters. How the hell? No, let's back it up. I'm going to be raw today. How the fuck do you be out here getting underage girls doing egregious things to them? We already heard the stuff that R. Kelly was doing, and that shit was just sick as hell. The girl was 14 in the video. If you guys saw the video, like, that shit was horrible. And for him to say that was not him, nigga, who else won R&B artist of the year? That was you. You had Grammys in the background of the fucking video that says R&B artist of the year. Who else won that shit besides you? I get so tired of them saying, oh, that wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. Take accountability. Yes, you're going to spend some prison time, but guess what? You shouldn't have been doing the shit. You got daughters. Imagine if somebody did that to your daughter. put something in your daughter's drink, made them eat a gummy to where they don't even know what the fuck is going on with them. They have a grown-ass man coming in and violating them. You would not like that shit if that was your daughter, Diddy. How many daughters you got? 4. 4 daughters. Are you going to groom them like you were grooming your alleged supposed to be son, Justin? Justin, we're hearing your name a lot in this lawsuit. And it's sad that the person who you call dad is standing back watching you be filmed doing things with prostitutes and probably men, because they say men be involved. They be in there, according to Cassie Ventura's deposition, they blindfold these people. So you're blindfolded, so you high and blindfolded, and you're doing very nasty, egregious things. You don't know who's touching you. You don't know who's touching you. Cassie didn't know who was touching her, according to her deposition. I read it in its entirety. Cassie did not know who had their hands on her and who was violating her. But it was all on video. And every time she got ready to leave, Diddy would have his people come and bring her back. Cassie talked with Diddy for months, guys, before we found out about the lawsuit. She let him know, I'm suing you. And I'm going to spell out every little thing that you did to me in this lawsuit. Diddy didn't believe she was going to do the shit. When that lawsuit got launched and that deposition became public, Diddy said, oh shit, she's serious. So in order to avoid going to court, which we know everything come out where they question you, things that are not even in the damn deposition come out. He didn't want that shit to happen because Diddy is about image. Notice now a lot of people in Hollywood don't even fuck with Diddy no more. Diddy's been banned from the Grammys, which is one of the biggest things in the industry where all celebrities hang out. Diddy used to always be invited to the Grammys, sitting right up on the front row, high as a mother sucker, which is why he keep them shades on. But it wasn't until Cassie spoke out, she initiated and kicked the damn door down on this shit right here. Lil Rod, he just came on in and just kicked all the damn doors down. So now that Homeland Security and the feds are on his ass, it's a matter of time because it did not take them long to go through all of R. Kelly's shit for 30 years. So you think that Diddy doing this shit for 20 years, it's going to take them long to go pick him up? You got another thought coming. 30 years of evidence on R. Kelly. His was state to state to state. He was going out of the country too. There is a video out there of R. Kelly in Africa saying, who wants to come back with me? And it don't matter how old you are. So he was recruiting women then, well, girls then. Azriel, what's the girl name? Azriel, Joy, all those girls. He called them on what was it? Gayle King. Y'all remember he sat down with Gayle King? These are my girlfriends. The fuck it ain't. Those girls were made to stare at the floor when other people came in the room. That's just how trained he had them. That's just how trained he had them. Diddy is no different. And he invoked fear on these women. They don't want to do this shit no more. And if they don't do it, Diddy, and we've heard it so many times. I watched so many videos where they say Diddy is a very scary guy. Diddy's gotten away with so many things to where he's hurt so many people, the way he used to put hands on Cassie. I showed you guys the picture where Cassie's face was all banged up, how he hit her in the face and broke her glasses. I got the pictures in my phone right now. The girl had a black lip and he would send her away, guys, to hotels so she could heal and make her wear this, thick makeup so people couldn't see that shit. He would beat her. He would assault this girl and send her away to hotels. He did the same thing to his baby mama, Misa, who is Justin's mom. Sent her away as well to a hotel to heal after he put hands on her. This is the person that we're looking at, Diddy. And I keep saying, I question what the hell happened to him during his childhood? Because it starts somewhere. What happened to Diddy during his childhood? And I think it might have been something that happened to where his mother did not step in and stop something that happened because he has no respect for his mother. And I noticed that. I told y'all day before yesterday, Gene Deal had to step in because he was getting ready to put paws on his own mother and was cussing her out. So it's something that happened to Diddy that his mother did not protect him from, allegedly. That's what I'm getting from this. And he blames her. So this is why he has no respect for her, because she allowed something to happen to him that turned him into the monster that he is today. Most people that do the shit that Diddy's doing were violated at some point in time in their life. And I'm going to say allegedly, because that's not been proven as of yet. It could have been a mother's boyfriend because Diddy's daddy died when he was very young. I don't think he got to know who his daddy was. But I saw another video that talked about how his mother, Janice Combs, lied to Diddy about who his daddy was and what happened to him. His dad was in like a mob type thing. And they tried to say that he snitched on somebody and they took his life. So Diddy never got to meet his father. So I'm going to say maybe, like somebody said in the chat, it could have been a boyfriend that maybe violated him, which now he's violating others. That's what happened to R. Kelly. R. Kelly was violated by his own sister, who used a number 2 pencil to violate him. I've already talked about this guy. Go read his book, Solar Coaster. It's very telling the things that this girl would do to them. His sister. She would pretend that him and his brother, okay, Kelly, his other brother, would what's the boy's name? What's the brother's name? Golly, why I can't remember his name. Anyway, he would make it, the sister would make it seem like they did something so bad that they could not go outside, and whole time she was violating them. She was making them do things to her. So when R. Kelly became of age, never mind the man down the street also violated him as well. So when he became a grown-up, he started doing the same things to other people. He was saying that his sister was videotaping her sex acts with men that she was seeing. So that's where he got videoing everybody. Do y'all see the connection here? That's why R. Kelly would video sexual acts with other people, because that's what he saw with his sister. She was doing that. She had several men that was coming over there she was messing with. And he was peeping through a door. I remember seeing this. R. Kelly was peeping through a doorway and was watching his sister in the act of having sex. And he said when his sister looked up and realized that R. Kelly was looking through the door at him, at him while he was watching them, she didn't even stop. She continued to do that sex act versus getting up and shutting the door. And he saw a video camera videoing the whole thing. So that's where he got that from. Every act that he did was recorded just like Diddy's doing. And for them to say that he's worse than Epstein, if you guys watch the Deposition, watch the documentary with Epstein, that's some crazy shit. I almost threw up watching that shit. With the young girls and the things that they were made to do. And that Ghislaine Maxwell, bitch, you are where you need to be, serving the amount of time that you should have got more time. You should have got more time, because as a woman, how do you sit there and recruit a young girl to come and do and allow things to be done to her as a woman? I don't know, y'all. That shit made me, so it's still making me mad. Let me get off here, child. I ain't about to be sitting on here hollering all damn night. I done read 73 pages to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this deposition that we pulled. I will definitely be looking into doing more depositions and keeping you guys updated as well on this case as I get it, okay? Yes, I appreciate you guys for coming over and joining and sticking and staying, child. I know it was a lot of reading. I tried to get through it for you guys. Child, I never read so much in my damn life. Oh, but thankfully we got good reading skills over here. All right. But unlike Martell, you see, Martell, that's how you read. Okay. Let me do a little, let me mess it a little bit. Martell, this is how you read. Okay. Don't get up there with all that shit you were doing. All right. Somebody said the nail polish. Yes, that was telling. That was telling, the white nail polish. I done told y'all, Lori Harvey, you were traffic, ma'am. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you know it. Then we talk about that in part 1 of this. Lori Harvey, while Steve Harvey was saying, oh, Diddy is a stand-up guy. I like him for Lori. Do you? You like that he make your daughter, your alleged daughter, because you ain't the daddy either. Everybody here claiming other people's kids and don't even take care of their own. But you like that he make your daughter paint her nails white and go in there and put on a mask for strange men to come in there and do what they do to her? You like that shit? Okay, Steve. Well, let's get out of here. I ain't got no more for them, child. Says as long as you don't sound like Wanda. Y'all so best. Y'all been hanging around me too damn long. As long as I don't sound like Wanda. I love it, guys. Let's get out of here, guys. I got to get out of here too, because I got to go get dressed so I can go out, child, and enjoy my night. with my husband tonight, child. We're gonna have a little date since my son ain't here, girl. Then I gotta come cut the ceiling fan on, and y'all can stay out of my business, okay? But love you guys down. All right. Thank you, Mars, for doing an awesome job, okay, of keeping the trolling down. And also thank you to all my caramelies for coming over and spending your Saturday night with me. You could have been anywhere but you're here. All right. Love you down. Let's get you guys some music, get you out of here. Goodbye.